disciplines such as dance, gymnastics, and yoga, where physical flexibility is both a prerequisite and a goal. The splits, whether front, also called forward split, or side, commonly known as a straddle or middle split, represent one of the most iconic and technically challenging movements. A perfect split is not just a visual demonstration of body alignment and extension. It is a reflection of the individual's muscular elasticity, joint mobility, mental endurance, and self-awareness. For spectators, it may look like a moment of static grace. But for practitioners, it is a complex synthesis of controlled breathing, patience, body conditioning, and pain management. For beginners or those with average flexibility, attempting the splits often comes with an intense stretching sensation and sometimes sharp pain. Unfortunately, this discomfort is frequently misunderstood. Many believe that pain must be endured at all costs, that the more it hurts, the more effective the stretch. This mindset leads to a harmful and counterproductive cycle. The more the pain is forced through, the more the body fights back, causing the muscles to tense up and the nervous system to activate protective reflexes. Over time, this not only reduces stretching effectiveness but can also result in chronic tightness, psychological resistance, or even injury. Pain should never be the sole indicator of progress. While a gentle tug or pulling sensation in the muscle belly is a natural part of the stretching process, sharp, shooting, or burning pain is a red flag. The nervous system interprets this pain as a threat and responds by signaling the muscles to contract and protect the joint or tissue in question. This creates what can be described as a protective tension. The more the body feels threatened, the more it resists movement, and the harder it becomes to deepen the stretch. Paradoxically, the pursuit of flexibility becomes the very reason it stalls. The key to overcoming this vicious loop lies in changing one's approach to stretching. Instead of viewing it as a battle of willpower and endurance, it should be treated as a slow, deliberate process of communication between mind and body. Flexibility cannot be forced. It must be invited. The splits are not achieved in a day or a week, but through daily attention to muscle condition, nervous system response, and mental receptivity. A gradual, progressive structure and training is crucial. Rather than attempting a full split on cold or unprepared muscles, practitioners should start with segmental exercises that target specific muscle groups such as the hip flexors, hamstrings, adductors, and lower back. These smaller movements help warm up the joints and ease the muscles into a state where deeper flexibility can be safely pursued. By working in progressive layers, beginning with low-intensity dynamic stretches, moving into active range holds, and finally into longer, deeper static stretches, the nervous system is more likely to remain calm and accepting. Warm-ups are not optional, they're essential. Stretching without a warm-up is like trying to mold metal that hasn't been heated. Muscles, tendons, and fascia become more pliable with increased circulation and internal heat. Light cardio, such as jumping rope, jogging in place, or dancing, should precede every flexibility session. This is followed by dynamic range of motion movements that mimic the final posture, but in a less intense form. These steps prepare the body both physically and neurologically for the deeper stretching work to come. One of the most underappreciated tools in flexibility development is the breath. Breathing is the bridge between body and mind. Shallow, irregular breathing, often caused by anxiety or pain, can increase muscle tone and signal danger to the brain. In contrast, deep, slow, rhythmic breathing signals safety and calm. Practicing breath control during stretching, e.g., inhaling for 4 seconds, exhaling for 6, encourages the parasympathetic nervous system to activate, allowing the muscles to relax. Visualization enhances this effect. When a practitioner imagines the muscle gently softening or the joint space expanding with each exhale, the body tends to respond in kind. These mental cues guide the body to let go rather than hold on. Attention plays a huge role in how pain is perceived. Neuroscience shows us that pain is not simply a physical sensation, but a combination of signals filtered through emotion, memory, and focus. When the mind fixates on pain, it intensifies the experience. Conversely, when attention is redirected through music, counting breaths, focusing on posture, or using affirmations, perceived discomfort often decreases. Stretching becomes not a battle against pain, but a meditative act of presence. Support tools and partner assistance can provide great benefit, especially for those new to flexibility training or recovering from injury. Yoga blocks, straps, bolsters, where using walls and furniture for support allow the practitioner to enter postures more gradually, maintain alignment, and avoid unnecessary stress. A trained partner or coach can offer additional support by applying gentle, controlled pressure, provided there is clear communication and consent. This kind of external guidance can help deepen stretches safely, but it must never be forced. A body that feels coerced will shut down and resist progress. Perhaps most importantly, each person must develop the ability to listen to their own body. Flexibility is deeply personal. What feels achievable to one person might be too much for another. The structure of one's hips, the elasticity of their tendons, and their injury history all play a role. There's no universal timeline or goalpost. What matters most is progress over perfection. Consistent, mindful practice, where effort meets kindness, is what ultimately yields lasting results. Flexibility is not only about muscle length, it's about nervous system adaptability, emotional openness, and self-trust. Fear of pain, frustration, and comparison with others can block progress far more than tight hamstrings ever could. Some of the most flexible dancers and yogis in the world began with stiff, rigid bodies. What set them apart was not magical genetics, but their ability to regulate fear, stay patient, and embrace discomfort as part of the journey. They learned to view stretching not as something to conquer, but as a dialogue with the body, one that requires empathy, patience, and courage. Keeping a personal log of flexibility training, whether in the form of written notes, videos, or audio reflections, can be incredibly beneficial. Over time, this habit cultivates greater self-awareness and resilience. It helps practitioners notice patterns, track emotional states, and celebrate incremental progress. When one starts seeing flexibility not as a destination but as a daily practice, the process becomes far more rewarding. In the end, splits are not just about how far the legs can stretch. They are a physical metaphor for how open we are to listening, learning, and letting go. Reaching that 180-degree line is less about the pose itself and more about everything we discover on the way there. About our bodies, our fears, our persistence, and our ability to grow through softness rather than struggle.